We're recording. Okay, good evening, everybody. We'll call this meeting to order for April 18th at 6:05. Sorry for the delay. We were getting the video up and running, so we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of public notice. Tonight's agenda is posted on the town's website and here at the town hall. Roll call. Everybody is here except for Doug Zoller. I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda as posted.
I'm just going to note that Rick will be a full-fledged member for this meeting.
Correct.
Yes. I can still be on the other side of the ropes next month, right? As a resident,
If we let
You
you.
can come to any.
Yeah, yes.
right? As a
Yes,
resident?
Yeah.
They are all public meetings.
Yep.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda for March 4th.
My second.
Motion is made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting of March 4th of 25.
I make a motion to adopt the minutes for March 4th.
I'll second it.
Motion seconded. Any additions or corrections to those minutes anybody wants to throw in there before we vote on it? No corrections, there are none, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. And we'll move on to the business. Kelly is here from Stan Tech. You need to be out of here by 6:30, so we'll move through the business and the mic,
There's a switch on top.
Yeah, it don't matter.
try
There
it.
you go.
Did it light up?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
just get it a little
you're good.
closer to your, there you go.
Yeah, you want me to start with 144th?
Yes, please.
There's really no major updates since the last meeting. We're still kind of waiting to see what things look like here. I think I talked with Mike Kirk, our construction manager today, and the next time he's in town, he will swing by and take a look to see if any repairs need to be made prior to paving.
So there's nothing new up there, waiting for the road restrictions to come off and.
Yep. Correct.
And you'll, assume you'll regrade it and make any small adjustments you need before you put the first lift on.
Yeah.
And then when does the top coat go on?
We don't have a schedule yet from the contractor. I believe, I want to say there was a completion date of July, maybe end of July. I'm sorry, I don't have that date.
Yeah, no big
off the top
deal.
of my head, But
Just curious.
early midsummer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is that?
Bird call or something. I don't know.
Okay, we can move on to the next item, Kelly, the 2025 road project discussion.
We opened bids on March 25th for the 2025 road maintenance project. We did get 3 bidders. The low bid was Allied Blacktop Company at, just over 104,000. That compares to our engineer's estimate of about 150,000 with the most recent estimate. So this will be presented to the board at this week's meeting for award. If it is awarded, they will be starting in July with a completion date of August 29th.
How does that work, Chris, in terms of, I mean, don't we automatically, doesn't the board, aren't they obligated to take the lowest bid? Is that how it works?
Yeah, and the thing that we have on the backside is, Farner's relationship and us haven't been the greatest, so.
Mhm.
Allied has done a bang up good job. I'm impressed with the price.
Pretty big gap there between the low and the high, but I suppose that's the way it goes when bidding gets out there.
Well, I think a lot of people got their pencil out this year. Have you been seeing that everywhere? Yeah.
Hmm. Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got a question, that, since the cost of doing the, crack sealing and, seal coating this year is so low compared to our budget. Maybe you should get some costs on, putting a center line on some town roads. Is that worth a discussion?
Well, I don't think right at this moment. I think we talked about that and put it on hold.
Done.
Before we did officially put it on hold, and I think it might be a little early to discuss that, but
Okay,
certainly something we can keep in the, keep on the back burner. Fine by me. Anything else on the road project discussion? Bids? We'll move on to number 2, other road projects, which
Do we make a motion to accept Allied then?
I
I don't know. I think, that the town would, the board would authorize that on Thursday. I can't answer that question.
do you want to do that, Chris, to
Yeah.
make a motion to the board to accept the lowest bid from Allied? Is that what you'd
Yeah.
like to do?
I believe that's the correct thing to do.
Okay,
I make a motion to accept the 2025 road maintenance project bid from Allied Blacktop at $104,278.
I'll second it.
motion made and seconded. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye, motion.
Thank you.
Motion carried. We're gonna have, talk about number 2 here, Scott Road. Collaboration with the town of Hudson on resurfacing. So Kelly's gonna stay for this one because they've thrown out some numbers on that. Got so many pieces of paper in front of me, but,
Did you give us something for that?
well,
haven't-
we've received it in the past, Chris.
Oh, no. I must have used it for TP, but
And I have, I think you opened up the conversation.
Yeah.
This was last year when you opened up the conversation.
sure. So I have not had any dialogue with them.
Right. So anyway, we had made a motion. Where is it here?
I remember the motion, but
Okay, Tuesday, Tuesday, January 7th. Lee handed out a revised 2025 road maintenance project map that added St. Joe's section of Scott Road as a possible option in coordination with Hudson's plan to reconstruct or mill and overlay their section at approximately $590 for reconstruction and $319 for mill and overlay. Motion was made by Carlson to Marshall and Carlson to recommend and forward this to the town board. It passed. And it was to be added to the town board agenda for 1/9. The 9th of January, but it didn't happen. It didn't get on the agenda, so this has never reached the board. So a couple of things I would like to talk about on that is that when we do make a motion and that motion is to go to the town board and be added to the agenda, I'd like to,
I normally do that.
okay, so there is a process and a procedure to do
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so,
Of course, that was the month that somebody else did the minutes.
well, that would explain it.
wasn't there.
So that's the glitch in the system. Okay,
Yeah.
got you. Okay. All right, well then, if that's been going smoothly, we'll just leave it the way you've been doing it. So that needs to be added to the agenda. Town board agenda.
Yes.
So I guess when you send that to Terry, put that in there.
Yeah,
Is it, you think we can do it this month at the next meeting?
Well, it'd be May because Thursday is our meeting. So May we'd talk about it. No, we gotta bring it forward just like you're discussing. So May it'll be on there.
Okay, so I don't know where I guess my question for Kelly is, I don't know where the numbers came from, the 590 and the 319 for either reconstruct or mill or overlay.
Cost estimates that we prepared.
Okay.
Informed of the potential that this could be a project or a joint project with.
So it's a per foot thing, kind of standard construction.
Yeah, I think.
Estimating.
We did do kind of unit estimates, but, just based on, aerial photo, what we knew about the conditions. So, those do include a 20% contingency as well as indirect costs in there as well. So they should be, should cover everything.
Does Scott Road, or excuse me, does Hudson have Scott Road on their radar this
Well,
year?
It's planned for, I think, a full,
It's
full
huge discussion there.
they're
Okay.
doing it, right, Chris?
Yeah.
Full reconstruct.
Okay,
correct?
so second question is Stantec following or working with Hudson on Scott Road?
Nope, they're doing county. County is
County is gonna do Scott Road?
representing Hudson. But they'll have to be instructed by us to after the May meeting, board meeting.
To go from the town line to the stop sign? On A? That's the scope, right?
Well, it's just our section of whatever that section is, how many feet that is. I think it's what, 20,
Yeah,
14 feet.
1,400 feet.
yeah.
So I think the original concept when Chris brought it up is that as long as they're going to be working on it, we would partner with them, use one plan. So if they're gonna do a full reconstruct, we would do a full reconstruct and just do the cost sharing per foot with one contractor, not two engineering firms, not two contractors. Whatever they do, we do, and we just do cost sharing.
Okay.
The road gets 5,000 to 6,000 vehicles a day, is that right?
well, that was when County A was,
Oh, that's when County
Yeah,
Ray
that
was
was the
done,
bypass.
okay,
yeah.
Well,
okay, so anyway,
due to it being the bypass, that's how we got there.
oh, yeah, yeah. That
And
makes sense. I didn't
Stantec
think-
is good with it, letting the county oversee it? Since it's a St. Joe Town road?
Absolutely, that's a decision that the town.
Okay,
So that's gonna be, we've already kind of made the motion to move it up to the board already and you'll
Okay.
do that and then we'll just go from there. I think it's up to the board to kind of get the coordination going with
Yeah, it'll be.
Hudson and we're kind of
it'll be
out of it at that
direction
point,
on the
right?
board.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, Kelly, you're good to go. Thanks for making it today. Appreciate it. I'm gonna move number 4 up. So Lee Shanbo, who came up from, Menominee, right? You're down in Menominee. Out on a farm out in Menominee. So there's really no formal presentation. I guess maybe this will be more of a question and answer period, because we did this last year. Lee came to us and offered to do, and recommended to do some spraying on our roads. It was more than just, the noxious weeds and stuff. It's a plant growth inhibitor. What is it, Pete? Is that what it's
So,
called?
hold on a second. So are you with Simon?
Simon's my son.
Okay, go on.
I don't know who did the spraying, it was a Simon, Dan, whatever the guys.
For
I
control.
talked to Simon always and I've never seen you, so I wanted to identify how this works.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, Simon's my son, he's in Iowa right now. so-
That's fine. I just didn't know if this was another salesman or the same
No,
thing.
no.
You're the owner, aren't you?
Actually, my wife is.
Oh. Okay, that's all right.
No, so basically what we do is, the biggest issue that came up was, there's NR40, which is the state noxious weed and invasive plant law, and, but a lot of counties and townships can afford to put in their budget to control invasive plants. So we were in Minnesota since probably 2009, where we did a plant growth regulator and a herbicide to control the invasive plants. So the plant growth regulator will suppress the grass probably for 2 or 3 months. So generally, this is done in the spring of the year. You usually don't have to do any mowing till usually late in the season, the fall of the year. So by not having to do that mowing, the cost savings is usually lower price than what it is to do the mowing. At least that's what we done. But right now, there's probably in the state of Wisconsin, there's 30 some counties doing it, and maybe another 30 to 40 townships that use this process for controlling invasives. And it's cutting down their costs for not having to mow as much. When we get down to southern Wisconsin, more they're sometimes saving 2 mowings because they mow more often down there.
So the NR40, that's the invasive.
That's invasive plant law on the state of Wisconsin, and the regulations, so, wild parsley is the one that probably really kicks it off the most because of the physical injury that you can get from the burns on that plant.
Mhm.
And it will, it's a biennial plant, so if you treat it early in the season, you should get 2 years of control.
Oh,
Because you're getting the second year, which is more flower and seed, and you're also getting the rosettes that'll be for the following year.
are you spot spraying with the NR40 as well, as opposed? Okay.
We've been doing Kinnickinnick Township for, I don't know, maybe 5 years, maybe a little bit longer, probably since about 2019, I think we've been doing them.
Mhm.
And we did some areas where we did some spot treat, because there was some residents along there where was some concern. We found out when you do spot treatment, it actually costs more than what it does to do a broadcast application. So some townships and some counties actually do a rotation. They'll do half their system 1 year, the other half the next year, because you can get 2 years of control on the weeds. We have some townships that do it every year because it's cheaper for them to spray it than it is to mow it. So it's kind of whichever direction you want to go. But the spot treatment, we found out if you spot treat it, you do have to come back usually every year, because usually you'll see the patch, you can control that patch, but the seed could be there. So when you're doing a broadcast application, we're catching that first year plant. And when we're spraying for the second year plant, you can't see sometimes where the seed was, or you come back in the fall of the year, and then we have all these little cotyledons coming up, which are gonna be your plants for next year. So we found out it actually costs more money to spot treatment than it does to do the broadcast application. Now, if you're doing a plant growth regulator, you would not want to do a spot treatment. Because if you did a spot treatment, wherever you did the spraying, it's gonna suppress that grass. That means you're still gonna have to run your mower out there to get the other areas. So if you just wanna treat the plants themselves only, then you could spot treat, but I would not recommend it if you're doing any type of plant growth regulator. So last year, I just had them print out, so last year, this is just for the plant growth regulator with the weed control. You spent just under $4,000. The amount of product used, you did it's just under 75 acres, and the cost per acre ran $53.60 an acre. That's what it ran. The general average on mowing costs is anywhere from about $75 to $120 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where so you can see a cost savings of anywhere from $30 to $60 an acre on a cost savings of using the plant growth regulator versus.
So do you have a quote with you for tonight?
I don't have a quote.
So,
The general air price is usually in that $55, $60 an acre, but we keep track of it in time and material. It comes out cheaper for you usually that way.
so Simon's already been out here with me
Okay,
just a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
We went over the maps. And
I think you looked at the beam guards and some other areas that you,
so what we did was first off, I wanna learn my hair. How did you end up here? Who called you?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, because we've got to get the spraying if we're gonna use this PGR, plant
That's
growth
fine.
regulator.
It's my hair. I guess I should have shared with you that I had Simon out here.
Yeah,
And so anyways, I'll move further. All the spots that they have documented we're doing. And then on top of that, I told them we went around and I showed them every guardrail we have here.
That's a
I
good
wanted
idea, yeah.
Sprayed behind the guardrail.
yeah,
So we ain't sit back there mowing, trying to mow behind. the
Right.
guardrail.
yeah.
that makes sense.
So. When you go back to the office, ask Simon if he sent out a bid.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Was he putting one together for you on that?
I'm here. Asking myself how we got to this point.
Sure.
with- he was physically here and I physically drove around for the day.
Yeah, and I think when Simon was here, we were looking at, because you added from the previous year, because I sprayed some of the guardrails for you last year. And I know you had some new ones added on. And I think Simon was coming by just to make sure that the map and update the map that we had from the beam guards. And
Yeah.
then we had some other areas. I think we had some riprap areas that we sprayed
Yep.
in the past.
Oh,
And
that's the other thing. All of Birch Park where all the riprap is, it looks horrible in there. I wanted that sprayed too.
so I think that was what Simon was coming in on, and I think you called mostly just asking about what the plant growth regulator. And I guess, I don't know, maybe Simon talked to you about how well did that work for you with the plant growth regulator for last year?
Worked great, except for the blue stem, didn't keep the blue
Yeah.
stem down.
Yeah,
That's,
so for in prairie plantings, the plateau, which is the plant growth regulator, that's the product recommended because it doesn't affect big blue stem. It is a challenge though. And the reason is because we're seeing more and more prairie plantings going in, people are putting in prairies and then you get some seed that'll escape there from birds and so we're seeing in roadsides, probably the counties that are mostly affected are probably St. Croix, Dunn, Chippewa, and Eau Claire are the counties that have a lot of big blue stem. We're working on it. The only thing right now that we know that can control it is glyphosate or Roundup. And it's got to be a fairly high rate because the root system on big blue stem goes down about 6 feet.
I think the reason we saw so much blue stem was not so much because of the spraying, was because our mower was down and we couldn't get at it. At the end of the day, I think the plant growth regulator greatly cut down our mowing work.
I ain't got no complaints about it.
So,
Now that we know that product's out there and that they do a good job, that's why I added, not screwing
Yeah.
around by the guardrail.
and the reason Lee is here tonight is because, Mark and I chatted about it a little bit, and I'm thinking, well, if we're gonna spray again, we need to get on it, and sorry, we didn't talk about that, but you were already on it. I apologize to you for dragging you up here tonight.
I've got usually
Man.
these months, spring years, we're at a lot of townships, so it's not a big deal.
No, I think you did the right thing, Jeff.
Yeah.
We didn't know that Chris was, working with Simon and,
He
We-
kind of keeps to himself. you know.
we are gonna get a proposal
That's what boss.
from a great team and I think what they did last year was very noticeable on the good side.
That's on me.
And just a question, did you have anybody that was concerned or anybody that expressed?
No.
Something what we
You've done a
find,
great job. That's why you're still here.
I thought it worked great. And so a question I have before you go, I don't want to keep you any longer because you probably shouldn't be here in the first place, but we did, and Chris, you can answer this. We did River Road, Valley View, 60th, 80th, 83rd, 85th, and 140th last year. Did you add any more
No, no, because I wanted. to
stretches
see-
that we can save on mowing or?
Well, I figured that'll. Asking to do the guardrails will raise our price up. I haven't seen it yet, so I was being conservative with the guardrails are important.
Okay.
I'm wondering about Scott Road. If we just do a mill and overlay, so it doesn't disturb the ditches. We've had problems with, one of the noxious weeds down there.
is that Japanese knotweed you have down there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think that.
that's it, that's, so, okay, what are they gonna do in that road? Are they redoing the ditches too?
Well, that's what we don't know until,
That's a
Board decides.
conversation that we don't need to finish tonight. It's pretty.
Yeah. I mean, because one of the biggest problem why Japanese knotweed will spread is mostly coming from the root system of that plant. So it's not the seed so much. It's, and I think, I don't remember which, maybe another one down there by, they had McCutcheon Road. They had redid their road and we all of a sudden, this is going back probably almost 8 years ago, but maybe 10, but they had like 18 different patches all along that road because and some of the dirt that got moved, it had some of the roots in there and that's usually will spread
So-
Japanese knotweed.
So we had tracked that down and what it was the county drug their mower along. And spread it all the way along.
Dispersed it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a-
they never clean the top of their
Yeah,
mower.
It is a tough plant to control. I mean, I maybe know of 3 herbicides that might work on it, but, it's something that you're not gonna control with one application. It's gotta be followed up on that one.
So if it's a full reconstruct, they pretty much redo the
Does your
Ditches, so
product
the-
take care of mullen too?
root system.
Because that's another one that just kind of by the seed and root kind of deal and just in kind of a new construction or in a year, 18 months.
So, we have a few. For the plant growth regulator, we have usually a couple different mixtures. What really controls mulling quite well is a product called Escort. And so we can use a milestone with Escort mixture if there's an issue on some roads.
I haven't seen it so much in St. Joe. I see it more north of Somerset, Star Prairie,
Sure.
heading towards Cedar Lake. It's more prevalent.
We just kind of switch up according to what it is. Like for instance, Kinnickinnick, we got most of wild parsnip under control. Now they're after us with the giant ragweed. So we just
Yep.
sometimes just got to change it up. If we find something that's coming in, we just kind of switch it up for the following year and get
Whack
that
'em.
under control.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make a motion that we do all of the roads that were done last year. Plus all of the guardrails that Chris has identified with Simon.
And we haven't seen,
Second.
sorry, we have not seen a lot of, the herbicide costs are pretty well flat from last year, so there isn't much change in price in that. So the only difference I could see is like if you have additional guardrails, it would probably bring a little extra cost, but otherwise I don't foresee a whole lot of price changing from whatever the charges went from last year.
And you're gonna hit the little spots of patches of parsnip around the town the way you always have been? I mean, when I
Yes.
met you, you were in the ditch on a 4-wheeler with a
Right.
hand sprayer, so.
And I'm trying to remember, none of those roads had the PGR put on there, was there? That,
No.
the plan
No,
goes,
but
I don't think so.
I guess what we're discussing here is with Simon, I discussed doing the spot spraying
sure,
that we have
Normally do
Yep.
the guardrails and then the PGR where we did it. So a motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Motion carried. Or no, wait. All in favor?
I,
Say aye. Aye, motion carried.
So then I make a motion to move to number 7, to get this other gentleman out of here. Then we can
Thank you.
return.
I don't know if we even really need to do those motions.
thank you.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Chris didn't talk to me and you didn't talk to Simon, I guess so.
So tell Simon to get his shit together.
Iowa's spraying down there right now.
I was trying to be on top of it and
Well,
Anyway.
it worked out quite well, so.
thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you.
I appreciate you coming up.
So this gentleman here is from John Deere and his name is Shane. And we can kind of ask what you want from him. So I looked over the bid and I had failed not catching this till I looked at it the other night. This bid is not gonna be the correct bid because I didn't ask for a CVT transmission like what the drivers are used to in this current one. This one's a regular transmission.
What's the difference? I mean, I know what CVT is, but
So,
we have different speeds then.
Infinitely adjustable.
Yeah, infinitely variable transmission, so you can go from 0.2 miles an hour all the way up to full speed and any range in between.
The reason why I like the CVT is for take your foot off the gas and it's done moving.
Oh, right,
So you,
it slows itself down.
Ain't like a regular tractor.
What's the upcharge on CVT?
so it all depends on the tractor, I'll have to go,
Uh,
could be anywhere. But the IVT, so it's a little knob. And you just can move it ever so gently, you don't have to touch the clutch to make it go forward, make it go reverse, and you can use the brakes to slow down. So it does treat it like a car.
As a former tractor operator on this one, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, otherwise this gear shift, you know, you put it in the lowest range and it could be 1.5 miles. And you're really stuck at that speed, cause you need your RPMs up for mowing.
And then, since we're on this subject, the other thing that I've learned for us as a group and as the town, there's a program out there called Sourcewell. Sourcewell, it's a cooperative purchasing management group. All the prices have been worked through already, and we're gonna apply and be a member as a government agency.
Is there a cost involved?
And so then he'll be able to get us
Better pricing.
better price with the CVT transmission, and then whoever else steps in the arena also will know that we're part of the Sourcewell, okay? In order to get other bids.
So we will be getting more than one bid working.
Yeah, so we're looking at this tonight. I invited him down to get, you know, if you want some John Deere info or some better thoughts, and then, like I said, I failed at not catching that transmission.
Got a question for you, Shane.
Yep.
I'm assuming you work with other townships,
Yep, work with other townships with boom mowers.
so 10 other townships you.
Yeah, well, we have between 7 different counties we work with, and then all the townships, so you know, there's probably 50+ townships, but we have the same tractor coming in with the same mower to a township of Draper. They'll be coming in this year. They replaced it. We have probably 3 or 4 other Alamo mowers in the same setup out in the countryside right now.
Okay, out of all the townships that you're servicing right now, are they all purchased or are they mostly leased? What's,
Purchase,
really?
yep,
Okay,
a lot of them are purchased. There is options for municipal leases through John Deere. So I'd have to double check if you went the Sourcewell route, if you can stack those two together, but there's options to lease them, yeah.
okay.
How would we, is this a cash purchase or are we financing this through John Deere or?
Well, so what I was told is we're gonna need more further education through Sourcewell. What I was told is some of their programs provide where we purchase a tractor and a year later we could upgrade it for minimal amount of money. 3 years later, we could upgrade it. So there's different
Hmm.
pieces to it,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah, yeah, there's all sorts of options you can.
I was educated about this firm. And I don't know all the good that comes with it yet.
I think those types of organizations can be beneficial and save you a lot of brain damage, that's for sure. I was
And
just
that-
curious if the town was just gonna write a check for this or if they're
Well,
maybe looking at
We
financing.
have, but I wanna put it on the budget for potentially 2026.
And I think we should get leasing off. Well, we'll find out what this Sourcewell has to offer and we'll
Yeah.
leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you handed out this stuff last month, I didn't know where Northland Lawn and Sports was, so I did a Google search on it. and
Yep.
It looked like a little farm, 200
Yes.
miles north of here.
Yep, so we have
Okay.
stores in Moose Lake, Grand Rapids, so Moose Lake, Minnesota, Grand Rapids, Virginia, Mason, and then two over in the UP. So we have service trucks all over.
Oh, interesting.
So I just came from Southern Pine County tonight,
Okay,
making loops, so we're
that's
all
just your
over.
corporate headquarters is on a farm up north. Okay.
Yeah,
Got you. Okay, so servicing is handled, how do you handle servicing?
so we have a service road tech, you can come down here.
Mobile?
Mobile, yep, then anything with Alamo, I mean, if it's parts that you guys could put on, we can just have them shipped right here. So Alamo's got
And you can
service,
service
Yep, we can-
also.
yep,
Okay, so,
and then, you know, if it's something that's way over our heads, which hasn't happened, Alamo has service techs, they'll come out and go over it with you.
and if it's a complicated repair that can't be done mobily, where does it go?
We would just come pick it up and bring it back to our shop and work on it.
Where's your shop?
So, we could either bring it to the Moose Lake store or to the
Okay, Cool.
Mason store.
all right. I was
Yeah.
just wondering why we were doing business with a little farm 200 miles north of here. That's all. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Jeff, I got a question. You guys were talking about, that bat wing behind, the mower deck. Jeff?
Well, my thoughts on the bat wing after I looked at the initial bids and kind of equipment list that we were looking at was along with the wing mower. That was both, right? Not just one. I thought the bat wing was probably not appropriate for our topography here, but I would say that before I would completely rule it out, kind of a run through the town and go, yeah, we can use it here. No, we can't use it here. Yeah, no, and then figure out if we need a or should get into a bat wing.
What are your
Right now,
thoughts?
my thoughts are no, but
What are your thoughts, Chris?
I have more discussion for later if we're done with Shane to educate everybody.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, or I can stick around if you want.
No, that's fine.
Okay,
Get you-
Perfect. But, yeah, I guess if you got any more questions.
so we're just gonna get a
No, we'll
new
get a new
bid.
bid.
Yep, new bid.
And they've met yet. If we have questions, we can call you on our next.
Yeah, and
meeting.
whatever you find out about the Sourcewell, if you wanna look into the leasing, yeah.
I'll report
Okay.
it to you that we applied and then we'll ask for a price after we are.
Member, perfect. Alrighty,
So actually, that's a good homework. Wait till I call you.
perfect.
and we applied because they told me we get a number.
Yep, you get a number and they'll be able to look it up, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So.
All right, I got a question for you, Shane.
Yep.
With JD and this Alamo being married together, how many years has that marriage been going on?
Since Alamo was in business, 68, 69, 1969, they've started making boom mowers.
Not a lot of
So-
options out there.
Yeah, Alamo, so this is an Alamo, they also own Tiger mowers, so there's another options too. So they've been a long time.
Okay, just the case and what we had and the issues that have been coming through with it. And then this pretty thing. I mean, it looks like a beast.
Yep. They make a bigger, heavier duty boom if you're really worried about wrecking it, but it's quite the steep increase in price. But yeah,
So this is a 5 foot swath,
yep,
that's a 60 inch.
60 inch, yep. And then I had put in there a 50 inch per your request, the mulching head. Where it could take up to like 8 inch trees, represents like a Fecon forestry mulching head you could put on there.
Hmm.
So,
So it drops this mower unit. and then
Yep,
you
it's like a-
attach the Fecon to the boom.
Correct.
Boom?
Yep.
Okay. Is that a quick release?
quick release, yep.
So is that like a drum?
Yep, it's a drum mulching head. So it's,
Okay.
you know.
So it's
50
a drum
inches.
that runs this way,
Yep, correct.
okay.
Yeah,
We
sharp
have, we
blades
have
that
one
go-
now that runs this way. And it
That's,
doesn't
yeah,
work
that's a
out that
rotary
well.
head and this one is a drum mulching
Are
head.
the teeth sharp on that or?
Yeah,
they're
they're carbide teeth and it'll eat right through a chunk of wood.
You can.
So when you get home tonight, you just type in Fecon mulching heads and it's the
I know
same
Fecon. I did
Yeah.
my property with a Fecon.
So it's the same concept.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's small.
smaller,
I had mine on a Bobcat.
throws wood chips everywhere, so,
Yeah, look out.
yep.
No,
Okay.
good information.
Yeah. Alrighty, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, Shane. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shane.
Have a safe trip. So I'm gonna pass around one book that I have. With the information I have from Kubota. The Kubota mower that I love. Is on here, you guys can look at as it comes around.
You love it?
Well, you guys make a decision. So here's the pitch. Look at it, see what you think. This unit comes off. And here's my thing. This tractor is. In order to get a CVT transmission and a Kubota, you gotta jump up another tractor size, okay?
The dually or?
No, just a bigger tractor.
Okay.
I wanna explain that. And this unit can come off of there very easily, unlike the mid mount, right? Mid mounts ain't coming off of there.
Or is that a rear mount? I can't see
Yeah,
that.
I'll send it over.
Okay,
I just wanna talk for a second.
okay.
So then anyways, this unit comes off of here and let's say. We buy a cage plow for the front of this thing and really push some snow on our own. Let's say. We have one of these contractors say they're done. And we have that tractor set up with a cage on the front of it, a push block. Where you can go into all these cul-de-sacs and bang them out quick, all these streets and bang them out. I personally know tractors are way faster than trucks. So. If we're gonna,
When you say wave, you mean faster in getting the job done, not 0 to 60.
getting the job done, yeah.
Yeah, right.
You're
Okay.
speaking more on the line of cul-de-sacs. Getting the job done on
More
cul-de-sacs.
maneuverable.
I
understand.
use them on Walmart, I use them at Fleet Farm, I push snow everywhere. Tractors are the. Creme de lame to me, surpassing my loaders. So,
Are these 4-wheel drive tractors we're
Yeah.
talking about?
surpassing them.
Hmm.
So,
Where's the dealer for this?
Johnson and Baldwin.
I think I looked them up also before yeah.
And the thing that I like that's really gonna make people get their pencils out is he had taught me about that consortium. So I really am impressed that the salesman went, hey, we can get you really down to nuts and bolts if you join this consortium.
Sourcewell.
Yeah. And I said, no shit, yeah, we can get real skinny. Okay,
And what's this,
and everybody has to get
So
skinny.
the Alamo with a belly mount, where this other one is a
This is called mid,
mid mount, whatever.
okay, well, just so we're all.
So, yeah, okay.
speaking the same?
And the other one mounts behind.
Yeah, but you can see it off to the
Right.
side.
Oh, yeah. And you can use,
I look at this, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can use that type of more to trim the trees along the road, right?
The picture that's coming around,
The only problem.
The
problem with this is.
profile is shorter, you know, as far as
Would.
performance way down in the
Reach.
ditch, it's shorter. This way it's shorter, but I'm just putting that out,
How far do you have to get?
18 feet.
right?
Do you need something?
And I think what we're all here for is money, performance. And
Oh, absolutely.
Longevity.
Reliability.
Longevity, right, reliability.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so to switch subjects for a little bit, I sent that tractor up there, I don't know. How long ago, I should have wrote. the
So
date
you've
down.
got a 7-foot difference in reach between the machete
Yeah.
and this one. Do we need more than
That-
18
That's
feet?
what I was gonna say. How much do you need for
Here,
reach?
well,
I don't
here's what's
I
fun
don't know.
is. When you go to the other side of the ditch, you're asking for a lot of trouble because a lot of people have manicured stuff. Most of my guys don't stay out of the manicured stuff, but.
You
I
gotta
mean,
leave the curb appeal alone. That's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
So if we're doing just our side,
Well, the reach for the other side of the ditch is definitely for the non-manicured areas.
yeah,
Okay, typical road surface is 22 to 24 feet top. 2-foot shoulder on each side, so you're at 28, right? So if you take that from 66. And you come back and you said you had an 18-foot reach.
Well, they've got the big model for this. It's made by Land Pride, is Quick Hitch. They've got two models. The one with the most reach is 18.
That gets you out to your right of way. And you're still up on stable.
Well, if 18 feet's adequate, it's adequate. Great. You don't need.
well, the other thing that we're missing, we'll see in May. Is price,
Okay. Good job, Chris.
Yep.
oh, pass it down to him when you.
Also,
That's my color.
Pumpkin orange?
That's my color.
Well, and you know, what's fun is he pointed out that this bid that I got was the old piece of shit transmission that, no CVT shit, well, all three of my guys would have walked
Yep.
really,
after being used to that, right?
yeah,
Oh, Lord.
but the other thing about the Kubota is, we had talked about a bucket for gravel or whatever too, and we could actually, we could do that again now
Yeah,
with a quick hitch unit.
true. So,
So the JD is a 145 and this is a 154.
yeah.
I mean. That's not much.
What's my penmanship there? I think you.
Yeah, you went, you said 154.
Okay, that is what it.
Yeah, and the JD is 145, so size wise. Barely, I mean, it's a size, but. And Kubota is Japanese. Everybody wants to know that.
Well,
I got a
where is it
nice look at
manufactured?
the
Oh,
shed.
yeah, where is it manufactured?
They're probably all over.
I'm just putting it out there that before anybody says or does anything, Kubota's Japanese.
I have several.
does that
Kubota
mean?
Pieces. I don't even go shopping anymore. So I just go down there and buy shit.
Well, we'll see if it's affected by, the master plan.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, are we done talking about the tractor?
Yeah, I just.
Good job.
Yep.
Okay, next on the agenda is number 3, damage to roads, results of the spring inspections.
Everybody received the documentation?
I
Yep.
did, yep. And I saw Teresa put out some work orders already, so I'm gonna talk to her. I don't know the process and procedure on those, but Todd's already got a bunch of work orders that she put out based, I assume, on the road inspection information
Yep.
she
I
got.
sent that to
So,
her.
you guys looked at Pioneer Ridge, correct? You guys drove through Pioneer Ridge. That was on your list.
Yes. That's up off of 80th Street.
Yeah, it's the new, just past Marty's farm on the left. Pioneer Ridge.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's up off of 50th. Yes, we did go through there.
Okay, so there was, we had Laura Hilsey from that area up here giving us feedback on public comments from March. About a lot of,
We did, those roads were in, that's up where we saw the, 2 county squads sitting. When we went
Oh,
through
up
there,
in,
that subdivision.
Yep.
they're building 3 or 4 homes. They've got lumber in the frickin'
Oh,
cul-de-sacs and in the ditches and stuff, but.
So that up in Pioneer or what's that called?
Pioneer Ridge.
well, 50th North or
Yeah.
whatever.
So those guys I shut down. And same with the one that's on 30th Street.
Chapel Hill.
Well,
Yeah, up off of 50th, so it's 149th, 147.
anyways, their equipment's there till the 15th.
So I was just curious about the condition of the roads, because a citizen came in and mentioned something to us. I'm just curious to know what you guys found up on Pioneer Ridge was. I didn't.
I thought those roads were in pretty good shape.
We
generally.
were there and looking at the roads, and there's an Pettibone 844 out on the cul-de-sac, right? And I asked Mark, I said, what do you think that piece of iron weighs?
Yeah.
I don't know. I said between 17 and 22. I said, put point of contact on those 4 tires. And Arrow Building has got their Moppet unloading right there when we're there, right? And we're picking up nails off the cul-de-sac, putting that house together.
Yes.
Well, and you can see the damage that cul-de-sac has taken from that 844. It was parked the whole time we were there. But that piece of iron you can have it on bit.
So note that in the minutes, the address. Do you have the address?
It's the cul-de-sac at the end of 147th.
Yeah, that was something.
Well, he won't get his damage deposit back, so that's how
Oh.
it worked.
It doesn't that, aren't those types of damages supposed to be reported to Jay? And doesn't Jay deal with the homeowner and the contractor to get reimbursement on that? Or do you just take the money and not worry about it?
They can come in and talk to me. They can come in and talk to the board, so.
Okay,
That's. So recently with the couple contractors that chose to build houses and run overweight and upset everybody. I had the building inspector take both buildings and everything there can sit there. Till postings come off. And then we'll be discussing with them their damage deposit, they want that back. That's the tool we have.
Okay. Anything else on the
And it's-
spring road inspection?
And it's the homeowner that puts down the damage deposit. Then he has to go back against the contractor, but that's not our fault.
The checks that I sign are contractors, so.
Chapel Hills, had some, had a flared end section that had, an awful lot of, sand out of the end of it.
Yeah, I asked Todd about that. He was gonna take a look. And
Okay,
it is on the report.
okay. Yep,
I think, from our end, I mean, I think it was a good I think it was a good idea to divide and conquer. We got that done in pretty short order, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, I was riding with Todd, which was good because I got a chance to get to know him a little bit. And of course, he was finding a lot of work to do, which is normal, I suppose, but, I felt like the roads were in pretty good
His
shape.
outside salesman was with you?
I was just writing down everything he said. We'll let Teresa decide what gets done.
I thought the winter, that the roads in or that in St. Joe went through the winter pretty well.
Yeah.
For the winter that we had, I mean, heavy frost.
Yeah.
Not much snow,
We didn't have much plow damage, much shoulder damage out where we
not
were.
really. No, and it's good education too. I mean, you get out on all these roads for sure.
Just for your benefit, Jeff, the spreadsheet that I gave you that you weren't able to use, because I know you're trying to follow Todd.
I was,
That has the roads broken up into the different construction sections that we've done over the years. So from point A to point B, especially when you get up on 150th up by Les's house.
Mhm.
We have a section from an intersection up to an address that's ours. The other side of it, the other end of it is Richmond Township. Not town. You know, the 150th is one of the screwiest roads out here as far as maintenance
Yep,
and who's responsible for
Right,
it.
yeah, I was picking up on those border roads. How it's handled. Sounds like they're pretty,
It's been established.
a
enough
good
over the
level,
years.
level of cooperation between the parties that are interested, be it Somerset or,
But there's one
whoever.
section where we in Somerset, I think, we both seal code the road the same year.
poopy.
okay. All right, moving on to 3.2, any other road damage issues that anybody wants to bring up? I don't have anything. And then we'll move on to number 5, Eckhart Blufflands County Park entrance and how it may affect the town road Old 35.
So Teresa called me on that and
She called you for what?
about
To add it to the,
no, to take it off.
okay, so we'll just
add-
skip that. I was
It
gonna
wa-
say,
Well, it's on for this month and I will tell you what's going on. The town, both towns, St. Joe and Hudson are going to get together with the county to work this out. This will not be on, there is no news on any change or anything going on. What we were looking at last month was more or less a proposal. They have to work with the homeowners that are down there. Apparently, the county originally proposed putting in a roundabout at the entrance to their park. And half of the roundabout was going to take land from the homeowner that it was in front of. Now, the county has this big parkland, but they wanted to take land from the homeowner. And that wasn't gonna fly. So there's a lot of questions to be answered
It's a shit show.
on that.
well, I mean, I looked at the latest stuff on the county website and it seems to me that, I mean, I don't think it's not at the public works level. And I understand there's a lot of controversy and a lot of reality checking going on with these folks in terms of what they want to do and what they really can do. I get that, but at the end of the day, our involvement is minuscule in terms of what our roads are in there. It's very small and I think we just let it play out and
Oh, yeah.
we'll
Yes.
plow whatever road they end up with, I guess. I don't
If
know.
it is, it's St. Joe property, right? Or is it St.
Yeah,
Craig
so-
County?
As far as I'm concerned, it's a very ugly situation because they would prefer to be ignorant and do what they want, and the board and my colleagues are like, you're gonna come talk to us and have a definite answer, because they would just like us to be okay with what they do, and I'm not okay with it.
Well, they
As-
wanna-
as a-
they wanna vacate a section of our section of.
Well, they want you to ignore the homeowners that are crying out and
Okay.
have spent their life trying to get some attention. They got my attention, and what's fun about it is we've asked for specific answers and the county is ignoring us and not coming back with nothing. And then the other fun thing that they talk about is their finances ain't all put together yet. And then their main engineer walked out the door, so that now they're kind of just in a dismal atmosphere, and I'm watching it even closer from a point of, it better not get approved.
I would suggest that St. Joe just puts some 6-foot fence up out there. That's all.
Well, as a soon to be sworn in member of the town board, that's something you
No, I
can
can,
propose.
I'm saying that right now on Public Works. That if it's St. Joe property, fence it. If it's St. Craig County, it's not, but as it shows, it's St. Joe. So let St. Joe do their
Yeah.
thing.
And the other fun piece about it is, besides the landowners that brought it to our attention, other landowners have not been contacted yet, like Bomasters,
Really?
ain't heard a word about it. And the same thing with the town of Hudson, had the same discussion with them, so I guess
Is it
from
North, is that North Hudson or Hudson?
It's
town of
it's
Hudson,
town of
there's
Hudson.
kind of a fork in.
Yeah, the road cuts off and it's town of Hudson, and then eventually gets to a point where it's in town of St. Joe. The road has always been down in the hole. Drainage is terrible, if at all.
Yeah.
The best thing that could happen there is that our section of the road gets vacated.
That's the plan, right?
That's kind of what we saw
Part of the
last
plan?
week. Showed, yes. Okay. But from the town of Hudson point of view, it looks like the county wants to use town of Hudson's gravel road maybe without doing anything to it. And if town of Hudson is smart, I think they will force the county to take over that whole road.
Well, and then it's a parlay shit show of the bike trail. It's all,
Who's on Parks after Lori left?
probably you. Coming
Nice.
Before you leave, let me tell you about parks. Now, when you talk about the bike trail, there is a possibility that our current vacated road could become part of the bike trail.
you'd have to look at their map. You know, I believe we're still in a discussion base, and they need to work better with all of us.
Yes, yes.
That's agreed.
Let's move on.
I see, Lori, I got your text, so thank you for the advice. We need to, use Robert's rules when we move around items on the agenda according to
We do, okay.
Lori. So we'll do that. Says you can change the number order before adopting as part of the motion.
I tried telling you guys.
Okay, my mistake. I tried to be informal.
Okay.
We're up to number 6.
Signage. Any signage issues outside of those noted on
No,
the,
no, no, no. We're gonna talk about the one you did notice, the one you did note. on.
what are we talking about?
Stop sign.
No, not the stop sign that's bent.
On Fox Ridge?
Yeah, no,
Been that way for 30 years. I thought maybe we could get around to straighten it up.
no, where was,
Throwing his weight.
I gotta find my note now. My note, just a moment.
Is that when we were driving, Mark?
Yeah, no, it was in your section. 146th Avenue. And Little Stub Road off of 146th.
Where is that?
Here,
Oh,
you know that the Little
Huh.
Stub Road,
yeah,
so,
that needs, is that the one that has, yeah, that needs to be a court.
well, okay, here's what goes on.
I mean,
with
that would be my opinion.
Here's what goes on with that. The county screwed that up when that subdivision went in, because they didn't name that road. You know all about roads coming off of other ones that don't have their own name. Because you have the same thing in where you live. Fox Ridge,
True that, yeah.
you maybe should be on Fox Ridge Court or something like that, but nothing's come down to a discussion there. So, a couple of
That's
years
an
ago,
interesting point, yeah.
couple of years ago, when they just, the landowner at the end of that stub road wanted to subdivide his property, and there are now 4 lots at the end.
Hmm.
They ran into a problem
And
where,
a cul-de-sac, if I remember, correct? Is there a
I
cul-de-sac
think there
here?
is a cul-de-sac there now,
Is
yes.
it up in my?
By
Yep,
your
that's
house,
right by
yes.
your place.
Don't go there. We fixed all
What? Hang on, I know, it's sort of fixed. There's two
Is
two
this
people.
Chris's house right here?
Yes, there's 2 people off of that stub road that did not want their addresses changed, so they really didn't want the road name to change.
Okay,
Because, but there's 4 new lots out there, and there weren't enough address numbers in between A and B to cover it.
okay.
So somehow county got involved. I was at one of the town board meetings for that. And so the county got involved. The county screwed this up to begin with. The county got involved, county screwed it up again. So that is now, it's 24th Street is the main road there. So that stub road is now 146th Avenue.
Oh, well, that makes sense because it's going the other direction.
Yes, yes. So in order to clear this whole thing up,
Yeah.
what you noted, what we need is a sign like this. 146th Avenue and 1465 through 1467, 24th Street, that way. 2 street signs will fix that whole thing.
Okay,
You understand what I'm saying, Chris, since you live there?
Very well clear, but we can leave it all
okay.
What?
Oh, she's off doing a road inspection. I didn't mean to
Yes,
step
So-
on that pile of, you know
So-
what?
no, we're fixing things here.
Okay,
alone.
good job.
So I'll add to your wealth of knowledge.
Okay,
Each home that's currently there has embossed in their driveway their fire, embossed in their house. And then other people decide it's something that should be changed. And we worked through it and said, no.
No, the county wanted to change their addresses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have another one of those anomalies too, and it's that.
So did the county change it on their GIS?
okay, here's the really neat thing. If you look on the county road, county GIS, that road has two names. Or half that road is part of 24th Street. And then the rest of it, and the whole thing is 146th.
We sent an official letter to say,
The board did.
to knock it off because we do have a say in it.
Okay, so do we not put a sign up, Chris?
No, he's got it. He's got it figured, Mark's got it figured out.
Well, no, but you got a board member that told you to lay down by your dish.
No.
Not me laid down, county laid down.
Here's the situation.
But-
No fire numbers are asked for. There's no addresses there. All them lots have been purchased by the adjoining landowners. There is no intention.
Oh, there's no development going.
No,
But this-
we'd have a different discussion if people were here looking for fire numbers.
Oh.
They're not.
There is one of them that is assigned an address in the county GIS.
Well, maybe
And are
if
they
there's
asking
one, you
for
could
it?
just add a half to it or something.
Are they
I'm
asking?
just pointing out the same people that had an axigram with please don't change it. Are also the landowners of all of it.
I would have to go on GIS and take a look at that because that,
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Yeah. I would still like to do this. I don't know, I'll take a look at that and then I'll I can talk to our sign person.
Well, if you'd like to make a
Sign.
motion on leaving it lie until it's necessary to bring it up, if one of those lots do get developed, then it will need a fire
I think
number.
it'll come up on its own at some point, but I just mean for a piece of knowledge that it doesn't need to be popped.
Well, it was my first trip through the neighborhood and
Oh,
it just
that's
seemed
fine.
rather
We just put
odd.
that whole fire out, so that's.
Perfect.
Okay,
I did notice, and not that it needs to be corrected, but I noticed another oddity, on like 25th, 127th, just down past Big Guys, where you hang a right and go into the development there. When you drive down 25th Street, that's 25th Street, and then it's got a slow curve into a dead end. Can't remember if there's a cul-de-sac there, but it's maybe a half a block, but right in the middle of the curve, there's a street sign.
yeah, because it's changing from a north-south to an east-west.
Okay.
It,
Just a.
it's screwy,
odd. Okay,
it's screwy, but
it's fine.
And if-
It works.
It has to be because if
And
that's
if you
ever
look
extended.
from the air, our predecessors had a dream of another road hooking to it, but didn't happen.
Oh, I see. Okay.
On 27th or 25th or
25th.
over behind Big Guys to
Yeah.
the directly east
Yeah,
of Big
it's-
Guys.
It would have,
Yeah,
our people from the past were picturing it hooking to Red Pine,
Oh, okay.
piece of history.
that
Okay.
is one of the developments.
So there's a couple
that
of
I've seen.
oddities with some of the signage out there, and they've been worked through, and I'm
Some
okay
of
with
these
that.
plans might have been at a bar.
On a napkin.
So Chris, maybe next year, when spring road inspections come up,
I'll buy lunch.
again,
That was I messed that up.
I am gonna suggest
Completely
that we,
messed that
that we
up.
flip-flop our roads next year.
I would surely volunteer as a resident, not as a member,
Oh,
but,
yeah,
but Mark and I were a good team and Todd and Jeff were a good team. But yes, I think we should flip so you can see more roads.
Jeff, when you get a minute, could I talk?
Yes, Lori, go ahead.
So I just want to add to the commentary about 25th connecting with Red Pine Trail. Just so you know, we had some sheetrockers for the new house going up off of 25th the other day looking for that road. And that still happens from time to time. So that's just a funny anomaly that just doesn't go away. So I know that that 25th to Red Pine Trail connection goes back to like 1972. So there you go.
Thanks for the history lesson.
Yep, thank you.
My only concern when I see oddities like that is can police and fire get there easily? Do they know where to go if they need to go there? That's my only concern. So
Luckily, they're.
I'm not worried about a sheetrock truck.
Yeah, cause that could at some point cut over by Teresa's house too. This is where Teresa's at. And that,
Mhm.
everything's looked at
Okay.
now for what
Yeah,
happened.
if you know where, if you know where Terry and Rodney Brooks's house is on, the road, you can see where the road was cut in there. Because it'd be west of Griggs. So you can kind of see where that was kind of plotted out at the time that they were, doing the CSM. But like I said, I don't, my opinion is based on the layout of the land and how it's been built up. I don't see that it would be an easy thing to do or a reason any longer to connect 25th and Red Pine Trail, because we're built out and it's going to be shortly behind us. So
Great. Okay, thanks, Lori. Appreciate it. All right, shall we move on to general maintenance?
Mm-hmm.
Completion of work orders. I did get an email from Teresa and she sent out a handful of work orders from, I assume, our road inspection, so that's underway. Any more discussion on that?
There has been a work order sent out for sweeping. And Todd has bought and purchased a new sweeper. So he was asking me if there's any roads that I knew of or that we had noted during road inspection that definitely needed sweeping. I think he's going out to do the ones that he knows.
We,
Valley View.
Yeah.
I gave him a list.
You gave him a list, okay.
I didn't really notice, I don't think we noticed a lot, but there are definitely a couple spots that should probably be addressed. Tractor and equipment maintenance.
You said the tractor was shipped,
So it's sitting in Rice Lake, waiting to come back. They had a bunch of different deaf doodads and program to put on there, and we'll be coming back maybe Friday, and then we'll put her to work.
Right. 8.3, maintenance issues not addressed above. Anything else?
No.
Seasonal maintenance, snow plowing status. There is no snow plowing status. I think we turned the corner. What do you think, guys? You
I
get
think we're
another
close.
blast? Do you think we'll get another blast before May
Well,
hits?
You know, I'm not gonna take that off too early.
Nope, not yet, but
We had snow plowing within the last month.
Yeah.
We did, you know, we got that couple of inches and I know they plowed past my house.
Yeah. Pretty minimal this year, so that's a good thing. Winter tree cutting and trimming, I think we probably added a few items on our road inspection of trees that were larger trees that were problematic, it seems to me.
have you got Willow River, doing some tree cutting?
Yeah, like I just told him to go cut a big cottonwood tree on 269 Red Pine.
What about
Any ash?
132nd? I think there's some work that needs to be done on 132nd too,
Yeah, that's
right in
fine.
front of that. Yeah.
I'll go look at it.
125th between 60th and County Road E. a lot of box shelter hanging over bit. That, and that's terrible. I mean, it's terrible if that road ever has to get reconstructed, because Sherm side to the north and, well, I guess it's Sherm on both sides, but that is just an ugly little strip of road.
So on 125th, there's a tree.
There's several. I mean, there's box shelters that just between E and 60th, what is it, half a mile?
Yeah, there's a crown that a lot of crowning that hangs over the road.
23rd Street is what I'm talking about. There's some,
Which 23rd? Over here?
well, past your place, across the bridge and take a left on 23rd.
Oh, yeah, we're always. Yep, okay.
And that needs some ditch work and stuff in there too.
Yeah,
The cul-de-sac needs to be,
the buses come in there and
yeah.
turn around, and then kids like to go hot rod in there.
I wanna say there's a couple big dead oaks there in front of that home, right in the middle of that road.
Okay,
Their home on the left as you're driving towards the cul-de-sac.
okay.
You can take a look at those.
That's a narrow gravel road to begin with too.
Mhm. Any other work needed? No. 9.2 summer pothole repair, shoulder repair, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, all of that is forthcoming. It's been discussed. It's been noted on the road inspection. And we'll get to mowing as it's needed. Weed removal spraying, we talked about that. Let's review the bills and expenditures. $73 tires. Good Lord.
Oh, they were throwing some bitches, man.
Are there, have you seen any more since that little episode?
Yeah. No, but I mean, that's a. If I ever caught somebody like that,
Where'd they throw them? All in one place?
oh, they did a fantastic job. Actually, I chuckled about it. They started on this. Inside corner on V, must have been in a van, pretty good at it. They were throwing them out on V and then turned on 150th and really started letting the ditch have them. Cause you could watch them roll up into the fields, and then they got down on Huron Drive and finished emptying them out.
Really?
You picked up 73 tires?
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you pick up the ones off of V? No, for the town? Oh, the
It's on
town.
the county road.
Okay, just curious.
That's a hell of a statement, you know, and I don't know the definition behind it.
Well, and then what was super fun. Is they dumped a dump trailer full of them on 20th Street, the new 20th Street that we made
Yep.
right here. Okay, they dumped one load, we went and picked them all up. Go to hell, they went there again and dumped another load. So then we put up a camera. And nothing else came.
Oh, darn.
So, over at the snarf pile from Holton Street Work that sits out there, just looks ugly as hell. That just gonna be there for a lifetime?
Is this by the St. Croix River crossing parking lot?
Yeah,
Go,
yeah,
go,
across from the,
It's the counties.
that's the county's spot, yeah.
it's the county's snarf pile. It's not St. Joe's.
I think we were,
Is that the pile you're talking about by the parking lot for the river crossing?
That
Yeah.
was their debris from County Road.
Right, we've talked about that.
We have, and just
It hasn't changed.
in 3 years,
It's not our business, not our
Wow.
business.
They'll be selling bag dirt out of there.
Okay, moving on to the budget.
Looking good.
Mm-hmm. No public comment.
and you requested that that get moved up front in
Well,
the agenda.
I mean, it's up front for the town board. I don't know why we leave it to the end to make somebody sit through an entire meeting to make a public comment. I think it makes more sense from a courtesy standpoint to have it up front. I mean, that's my opinion. What's everybody else's?
I'm
It's
fine
typical.
with being up front. I guess I never knew it was in the back.
And I know that the time I've been on it, like, still, there will be people, well, Teresa was here a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, and she just asked that it be moved up. So I just think it makes, I just think it makes sense at the front. That's my opinion.
So noted. We'll move it up to the top.
Do we need a motion to do that?
I think it's just how it's
I think-
prepared.
ask Lori.
Lori, you still on board?
I am.
Does that need to be a motion, you think, to move the public comments to the top?
I don't believe it does need to have. I don't think you need that. I don't have, the suggested order of the agenda, but I do feel your discussion is appropriate to move it from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, if we were to move it within a particular meeting, it might take a motion.
Yes.
Right, or if you feel better, just as, you're just make a motion to have that order changed on your agenda and call it a day. Just make the motion and vote on it and move on.
I don't think it needs a motion. I will move it without a motion.
Okay,
There you go. That's what I would do too, Mark, so that doesn't make it right, but that's what I do.
that's fine. Okay, thank
I
you.
think this is the general order of things that I got when I started doing this position about 7 years ago. And it's never been changed. Nobody's ever asked for it.
If you look on there, Mark, does it still say on there that it's posted?
Yep.
What
Posted
is-
as required by clerk treasurer town of St. Joseph.
But there's no location saying where it's posted at? Because at one time that was incorrect too.
Yeah, it has
Oh.
the address.
It does not say where it's posted at.
Okay, then you're good. Somebody caught it along the way.
And in my minutes, I always put,
Everywhere it's posted is gone.
I always
The address
put
is
in
right.
posted as required. Cause I don't know all the places
Oh, it used to
And
be
it's
the
not my-
gas station and then.
and it's not my job to post it, so.
That's gone.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Thanks. I second
Oh,
it.
Just a minute,
oh,
just
no,
a
no,
minute,
no,
just
no.
a minute.
Oh, what?
I want, for the next meeting, I would like to talk about some speed limit signs on that 1.25 mile stretch of 150th.
Oh, balls.
From the town of Richmond to where the 25
the
mile
speed
an hour
now?
speed limit, it's not marked, so it's 55.
Oh, there we go.
And,
I believe we'll talk about it, but I believe we can pull it down to 45.
And that would be fine.
without a speed
yep,
study.
that would be fine with me, because you would not believe the racetrack.
I'm one of
Them subdivisions, when in
Yeah.
the morning going west and in the evening coming east. And then there's some people that like to, I stopped one guy and he says, well, I'm testing my vehicle. I repair them for myself. He was going about 90 miles an hour.
Speed testing.
Keep in
I had
mind.
to test it to see if it goes 90 miles an hour.
Signage and enforcement are
I
two
know.
different words.
But if a sign is up there,
Yeah,
and then if I call the county sheriff and tell him to sit in my driveway, all of a sudden they're going 40 miles over the speed limit. I called them 2 years ago, and they sat in the driveway a couple times. You know, I
Did
watched,
they make any money though?
I don't know, but I watched a lady almost get hit right in front of my lot. And the car was just ripping.
Duly noted, we'll add it to
Right.
the next agenda.
okay.
You got
It's for
that?
town board agenda.
I'll even pay for the signs. to
Well,
put-
you're gonna put the
I
Scott
think we
Road
only need
discussion
3.
on there. That's the only thing that we have. Do we have any more items for the town board besides
I have
moving
a
forward
copy.
that Scott? Road
Just the crack seal,
motion?
the 104.
Piss off Brinkman's right across the road.
They got more shit to worry about tonight.
Les, you're gonna go from alternate one to a
We-
full-fledged member
we
next
can
month.
pull-
Corporate laddery's climbing,
Are you staying on
Somebody called
Public
me to
Works?
Ride around in the road checks.
whatever the boss
You
lady
got the
says, I
email?
guess.
Okay,
I did not see it. I might have missed it or something.
Okay. Let's go back to public comment for a minute, and I'm sorry about this.
yep,
We're talking about these little road naming and screw ups. I would like to see the town forward, subdivision plans for, that include any new streets or street changes to our committee, just for review.
Yes, it used to be that way.
We never see it, we never see these streets. And hopefully we can bypass
Well,
snafus.
So do those plans include prospective street designations?
Yes, it could.
No,
Street name,
I think you should
things
make
like
a
that.
motion then. I think you should make a motion.
I don't know if I can't make a motion because it's not on the agenda.
not on the agenda.
I will put that on next month's agenda.
Okay,
I don't think, Mr. Forsta stuff came in front of us at all, and there's some new roads.
the date for the next Public Works Committee meeting will be May 6th, unless there's something I don't know about.
No elections there.
I'll take a motion for adjournment at
I resubmit my motion for adjournment.
I second it.
motion made and seconded. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. We are adjourned at 7:37 PM.